In order for Darth Vader to truly overcome his injuries on Mustafar, he needed to fully embrace the dark side. He had to let it engulf him. He had to become the dark side. And in order to do this, Anakin Skywalker had to be kept hidden away forever. But this was not entirely possible. Inside of Anakin, Vader was always there. Vader always resided. But now, inside of Vader, Anakin was hidden deep, deep down. But he was still there. Anakin was always alive. And he was alive even when Vader first became Anakin, learning to first kill him. But it got to him. And time again, Anakin would peek out from the darkness to remember his old life, to remember Padme, Obi-Wan, the Jedi, his children, to remember the light, to remember what could have been. And today I want to take you through a passage from the book Dark Lord, The Rise of Darth Vader, as Vader is being sent on his first true mission. And while discussing this mission with Palpatine, he cannot help but feel Anakin Skywalker. Vader thinks about what would have happened if he had not lost to Obi-Wan on Mustafar. So let's get into reading, and here's some background. It's been 4 weeks since Vader was put into the suit. He's heading to the planet Mercana to confront a group of clone troopers who disobeyed Order 66, and he is to kill any Jedi who may be around while disciplining these clone troopers. So, in our reading today, Palpatine calls Vader on his ship. So that's where we'll get started today. On many worlds, Order 66 had been executed without misfortune on Megiddo, Seleucami, Felucia, and many others. Taken by surprise, thousands of Jedi had been assassinated by troopers who had for 3 years answered almost exclusively to them. A few Jedi were known to have escaped death by dint of superior skill or accident, but on Mercana, apparently unique events had played out. Events that were potentially more dangerous to the Empire than the few Jedi who had survived. What was the cause of the troopers' insubordination, my master? Vader asked. Infection, Palpatine sneered. Infection brought about by fighting alongside the Jedi for so many years. Clone or otherwise, there is only so much a being can be programmed to do. Sooner or later, even a lowly trooper will become the sum of his experiences. Light years distant in his inner sanctum, Palpatine leaned towards the holotransceiver's cam. But you will demonstrate to them the peril of independent thinking, Lord Vader. The refusal to obey orders. To obey you, Master, Vader replied. To obey us, my apprentice. Remember that, Palpatine replied. Yes, my master. And Vader paused with purpose. It's possible, then, that some Jedi may have survived? Palpatine adopted a look of consummate displeasure. I am not worried about your pathetic former friends, Lord Vader. I want those clone troopers punished, as a reminder to all of them that for the rest of their abbreviated lives, they would do well to understand whom they truly serve. Retracting his face into the hood of his robe, he said in a seething tone, It is time that you were revealed as my authority. I leave it to you to drive this point home. And the escaped Jedi, Master? Vader asked, and Palpatine fell silent for a moment, as if choosing his next words carefully. The escaped Jedi, yes. You may kill any you come across during the course of your mission. Vader didn't rise until the Emperor's hollow image had derezzed entirely. Then he stood for a long moment, with his sheathed arms dangling at his sides, his head mournfully bowed. Finally, Vader turned and moved for the hatch that opened onto the Exactor's ready room. To the galaxy at large, Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker, poster boy for the war effort, the hero with no fear, the chosen one, had died on Coruscant during the siege of the Jedi Temple. And to some extent, Vader thought, that was true. Anakin is dead, Vader told himself. And yet, if not for the events on Mustafar, Anakin would sit right now, today, on the Coruscant throne, his wife, Padme, by his side, their child in her arms. The Jedi gone. Palpatine gone. Just the two of them, their child, leading the galaxy. Instead, Palpatine's plan could not have been more flawlessly executed. He'd won it all. The war, the Republic, the fealty of the one Jedi Knight in whom the entire Order had placed its hope. The revenge of the self-exiled Sith had been complete, and Darth Vader was merely a minion now, an errand boy, allegedly an apprentice, the public face of the dark side of the Force. While Vader retained his knowledge of the Jedi arts, he felt uncertain about his place in the Force, and while he had taken his first steps toward awakening the power of the dark side, he felt uncertain about his ability to sustain that power. How far he may have been now had fate not intervened to strip him of almost everything he possessed, as a means of remaking him, or of humbling him, as Darth's Maul and Tyrannus had been humbled before him, as indeed the Jedi Order had been humbled itself. Where Darth Sidious had gained everything, Vader had lost everything, including, for the moment at least, the self-confidence and unbridled skill he demonstrated as Anakin Skywalker. Thinking once more of the throne on Coruscant, of Padme and their child, Vader turned and moved for the hatch to complete his mission for his new master. So what would happen if Vader won on Mustafar? According to him, he would have gone to Palpatine and killed him, of course after killing Obi-Wan, and after that, he would sit atop a throne on Coruscant, and by his side would be Padme, holding their child, and along with all that, Anakin would still hold his power, still have his abilities, and still have his confidence. In Vader's mind, they would lead the galaxy. Everything would be perfect. Everything would be the way they wanted it to be. If he would have just won on Mustafar, everything was Obi-Wan's fault, according to Vader. He could have won everything. Of course, it was all Anakin's fault, all Vader's fault. A while ago, I posed a question on the community tab on the channel, said which Jedi is the most responsible for Anakin's fall. Of course, I didn't put the caveat that, of course, Anakin is the only one, the main one responsible. I thought that was a given. But either way, like, Anakin is it is his fault for turning to the dark side. It's no Jedi's fault, though they all had parts in it. Obi-Wan can be blamed, Windu can be blamed, Yoda can be blamed, though I think the Jedi get an unfair amount. It was, in the end, Anakin who decided to join the dark side. He could have not done it, and part of this comes from him being just delusional, I think. Let me know in the comments what you think, but to me it is delusional. He would have had trouble killing Sidious, first of all, and even if he did do that, he would have had to answer for killing the Emperor. The galaxy wouldn't have just accepted it as a Sith Lord, at least I don't think. And after that, would Padme really want to lead with him as Empress while he was Emperor? That goes against a lot of what he stood for. Even as Vader, Anakin continues to be arrogant of everything, and that's just part of who he is. I think it's how right now for him. It's kind of a coping mechanism. Again, he's been in the suit for 4 weeks. His wife has been dead for 4 weeks. He's coping. He's thinking, if I would have just won on Mustafar, everything would have been perfect. When in reality, he became not just Darth Vader, but the tragic Darth Vader. The moment he cut down Mace Windu, it was really never going to work out for him. So maybe I'm wrong. Let me know what you think. I just think he was destined to end up failing. Yeah, tragic. Anyways, let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought of this passage. Great book so far. Gonna keep reading it. Gonna keep covering it. Yeah. Thanks for listening. And I'll see you in the next video.